Hi folks, Brett here with Shine Your Light Before Men. The purpose of my YouTube channel, if you hadn't already guessed, is to glorify God and give gear and flashlight reviews. As you can see here on the table in front of me, I have a selection of some of my less expensive lights. It's actually a collection of my parents' lights and mine. I have some more expensive lights that I'll be showing later in the video. But I wanted to show you just a sample of some of the many lights that we own. We have a lot more than these. We have some duplicates, and I'm sure there are others hiding around the house, but this is a pretty good example of what I own. All these lights here on the table are incandescents, and they aren't super bright, so I'll just show you a little bit about them. I won't even do beam shots. Beam shots I'll save for some of the reviews later on. So let's get this table cleared off, and I'll start showing you the lights kind of individually. Alright, so most of these lights are pretty old, and I have no idea how much they cost when they were bought, or even if they're still available, but I'll just go through and show them to you, and I'll just throw a quick beam on the table so you can kind of see. I do have a lot of light going on above us here, so it might not be real easy to see some of these incandescents. This light here is a Garrity light that my mom used to carry with her when she was feeding horses, and it's got a nice rubberized grip, so it's easy to hold on to when it's cold outside. Plastic. It's got a stippled or stippled, whatever you call it, reflector, so it's not real throwy. It's kind of floody. As you can see, it's got a fairly decent beam on it, but it's not real great. And any of the incandescents that I have terrible beams compared to the LEDs. Here's an ever-ready light. This one I never have really liked. Again, it's got a smooth end, stippled beam, plastic lenses on these. I really hate that because they get all scratched up. As you can see, this one is scratched up. Some of the hardened glass reflectors, they don't get all scratched up, but as you can see, this has a decent beam. Here's another Garrity light. This one we've had forever, and no, that lens is not cracked, it's just the way it's made. Again, plastic, scratched up, not real clean, but it's rubberized, real easy to hold on to. Got a nice push button here on the back. And this one's pretty yellow, and it's got a terrible beam, but you know, they worked, and before LEDs came out, these were the bomb. This light, another Garrity here, same design, and as you can see, it works. Not real great, but it does work. And here is a Light. These are a little bit newer than the other ones here on the table, I think. Pretty nice. It's got a rubberized type of a coating on it, and it works pretty good. You know, it's a pretty decent beam actually for what it is compared to some of the other ones. Again, plastic lens, but yeah, it's pretty throwy, and it doesn't have that hole in the hot spot like some of the other ones do. Okay, so this one I got here probably came with that other Light in a package, and as you can see, this one's kind of strange. The bulb in it is pretty big compared to the reflector. So when I turn it on, as you can see, the beam is terrible on it, horrible. So anyways, it works. You know, it's light. It lights up an area, but LEDs have really spoiled me here lately. Alright, here's some of my less expensive big and bright lights. You know, what used to be. I don't even know what brand this is. It doesn't really have a brand written on it. As you can see, it's got a nice smooth reflector. If my camera would focus. There we go. Very nice smooth reflector, but again, plastic lens. Fairly nice beam on it, but again, a lot of artifacts in it. I don't know if it'll show up on the camera, but a lot of artifacts. Pretty bright, but not real great. I'll just go ahead and compare it to a 2D Maglite that I got here. So as you can see, quite a bit more light. This is a 2D incandescent. Let me open up the beam on this Maglite, and while I got it, I'll go ahead and show you what it is. So as you can see, this cheap light is a little bit brighter. I really love the design of the Maglites. Not a cheap light whatsoever. I don't have any LED Maglites at this time, but I love the adjustable beam that you have with this, from narrow to flood. And this one doesn't work very well because I messed it up, but it's really nice. I do like these. I wish they had brighter LEDs available. They're getting better, but it's not like you know, something like this size should be around 800 lumens nowadays, but they are not quite there yet. The design and the knurling and the heft of it, they're just great lights, even in the incandescent form. They're pretty much the standard, I would say, in my opinion. Others may differ, but great flashlights. Love Maglite. Here's another cheap light with a 6-volt battery, and this one's got a fairly decent beam. And as you pull it away, as you can see that the hot spot looks a little bit better, and it kind of opens up as you go closer, but fairly decent. I'd say it's about the same brightness or comparable to this cheap light that I showed. Here's another Lumilite, and I believe it came in the same kit as those other smaller lights that I showed earlier. Got a nice stand with it. It's a pretty decent light. I do like it. Meant to be a thrower. It's got a smooth reflector there. Again, my camera, I apologize if I don't wait for it to focus sometimes. There you go. Definitely a thrower. Definitely a nice beam on this. I'm actually more impressed with the Lumilites for incandescence. They're pretty decent, except for that really small one. That was just terrible. But this one's a Dorsey. I like this one. It's a small form factor, and it's rubberized as well. Easy to hold on to, easy to grip. Again, these plastic things, they just gets all scratched up. And I haven't cleaned them or anything, so they would look probably a little bit better. But this one, the battery's kind of dead in it, so as you can see, it's pretty dim, and it's not doing well. But that's a nice little light. I do like the Dorsey. They're pretty decent. Okay, here are some of the spotlights that these are actually both my dad's. As you can see, smooth, deep reflectors. The incandescent bulb. This is an Intercell. 2 million candle power spotlight. Yeah. What's a candle power? Yeah. I like lumen ratings, and I like the ANSI standards a lot better. I'll go over that in a later video, what the ANSI standards are, but 2 million candle power really doesn't tell me much, except for, you know, it might have a tight beam. But quite bright. Actually, the beam looks pretty nice here on the table, but when you get it out further, it looks pretty horrible, to be honest with you. And as you can see, it's flickering just a little bit. The batteries are charged up, so I don't know why this one flickers, but it does. This one is our previous most bright spotlight. Huge reflector on this bad boy. Quite bright, and rechargeable battery. And this one has a momentary, and you can also latch it up. Very tight beam pattern on this, and again, it's incandescent, so it's nowhere near as bright as the LED throwers that are a quarter of its size. All in all, it's a great thrower. You can see long distances with it. As you can see, it's a much tighter beam than this. Actually, you can't really tell here, but once you get it out on longer distances, this one is much brighter. This Vector one is much brighter than the Intercell. I'll use that big yellow Vector light and probably some of the other big quote-unquote bright incandescent lights and compare those to some of the current LED thrower lights that are available these days in some of my later review videos. Here is a snap-on light. That's interesting. It just came on, but it's got an adjustable beam. I really don't care for the adjustment on this one as much as the Maglite. It's not as precise. It's quite a large light. It's probably a 3D light. As you can see, the 2D Maglite's shorter there. But it's very nice, well made. I like the rubberized grips. It's a nice offering. I like the protection there. Got a plastic lens. So does the Maglite, but it seems like the Maglite and this light have a little bit harder lens than some of the cheaper plastic lights. At least it's more scratch resistant. Maybe it's less hard, I don't know. It doesn't tail stand very well, whereas this one you could tail stand it if you really tried. This is pretty soft material, but I just found out that I've been adjusting my Maglites wrong because I was loosening up this part instead of this back portion. So, learn something new every day. Learning a little bit better how to adjust this bad boy. As you can see, I'm holding the whole body now. Anyways, I really like the Maglite compared to this light, but it is a good light. I mean, this is decent. Brightness wise, they're pretty comparable. This is a snap-on light that came with that larger snap-on light, and it has a pretty nice beam. I actually have this sitting beside my bed just because it's not super bright, and it's pretty reliable that I've found. And I believe it's a AA light, and it's pretty decent. I'm not going into real great detail on these lights, as you can see, as to what their power is, because really they're not that fancy. So you can find out on the internet what they take for powering up, and you do some searches for them on the internet if you want more information. Here's a little mini Maglite, and this one's kind of cute. I believe it's a AAA. Yeah, it's AAA Maglite, and it's incandescent, and I love the adjustable beam, but it's not very bright. Not very bright at all. I'll use this in a comparison video to compare it to some of the latest LED offerings and lights that are even smaller than it. But as you can see, it's a pretty decent little light, and it's nice. It's reliable. It's cute. I said cute, yeah. Sorry guys. Here is Surefire E2D Executive Defender, and as you can see, it's got the nice, I don't know what you call those, the barbs, the grabbing portions. The name escapes me as I'm talking here on the video, but the bezel on them, you can use it for jabbing into things. I'll annotate it if I ever think of what the actual term is. But is it crenulated bezel? I don't know. And it's an incandescent, very super bright compared to some of the other ones. And if you know Surefire, the beam is excellent, even though it's an incandescent. And very, you know, it's bright. And it uses CR123s, 2 of them. And I'll do a review on this in a later video. So that's pretty much an overview of my less expensive lights. Some of them, at least. Like I said, I have lots of them hanging around the house. I'm kind of a flashaholic, as it were. And these lights here on the table are some of the higher quality lights that I'll probably be reviewing later on down the road, or at least having in comparison review of some of the LED and HID lights that I own. And I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe if you like these videos, and God bless.